I'm going to tell you a story, but the first thing I understand is time doesn't work the way thinking doesn't go my oracle. No one's talking to you. Welcome to Cult. Welcome once again to Booty Tickled in the Trial. I'm going to be talking more about NLP. Sensory overload, painting worlds that feel real. Walls pressing in, colors too vivid, senses screaming all at once. Designed to absorb or trap someone in a reality of someone else's design. Manipulation disguised as immersion. Basically overloading the senses to reach the subconscious. So the Manavijnana, the mind consciousness, it wants to tie together the other five sensory strings. Kaksarvijnana, Sraravijnana, Gravijnana, Jivijnana, Kayavijnana. So like eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, mouth consciousness, body consciousness. And so basically it wants to put all of these things together in a cogent way. I am mildly concerned that essentially trying to do this to someone might be a lot like trying to defile their mind consciousness and essentially move it from like 6 string to 7 string and move it to the Klesa Manavijnana or the defiled mind consciousness. And that's messed up and uncool, and I don't approve. I fully disapprove. It's basically designed to evoke emotion to bypass rational thought. Once again, I'm fairly certain I've had this done to me. And this may be one of those things where it's not impossible to have it be anchored so it triggers later. And it's complicated for me to explain why. But I might get to that in a minute. It can leave you convinced, emotional, or compelled without instructing you to feel that way. So basically, it's like it can do a Balena Carniati without actually saying Balena Carniati, which is pretty rude. It's like John Toronto, Balena Carniati Vina. That's like so rude. Basically, like our senses are gateways. Like the story of the Hunden. Like the thing about the Hunden was, like they Lickety and Split didn't like drill holes into the Hunden's face for no reason. Like they were trying to give like the Hunden essentially like eyes, ears, nose, mouth. Oh, 2 nostrils. That's right. 2, 2, 2, and 1. 7 holes. And that's why essentially the Hunden died. Was because of those drilling 7 holes. But anyway, like that's sort of a more literal interpretation of a story as to our senses being gateways, but it also kind of works. So basically, like you flood the gateway. Like if you basically like you look at the mind as a castle, right? And all the senses are gateways. Basically, you're flooding the gateways to flood the castle to basically infiltrate it with the information you want. So first and foremost, pay attention. So if like all of a sudden there's way, way, way too much going on. Your senses seem to be struggling to keep up, and you like just try to isolate your senses and untangle the flooding so like all the jumble hidden context become known to you. And so like now this is me speculating. I think I may have had like pre-planted NLP for sensory overload actually trigger while I was having my game night earlier. Because I'd started watching the sensory overload thing. And like maybe I'm being paranoid and reading too much into it. Like that's not impossible. But like all of a sudden, I'm just sitting there, like playing my game, and like all of my senses go nuts. Like my sight, like I'm able to like It's very hard to describe, but essentially I could very easily discern the layers between like it's so hard to describe. It was like having a minor psychedelic experience for no good reason. So like if all of a sudden you be tripping and you got no reason to be tripping, someone might be trying to sensory overload you. That's what I got for this. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe.